Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black First opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissies.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
What it do?
Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Go ahead and take over Mind Games.
Okay. Gonna make it my show today, huh? Okay. What's going on, y'all? Be talking about.
We here.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna talk about the Kamelo Anthony, the judge recusal. This is not gonna be a long show, y'all. We just want to keep everybody update what's going on out here in these streets. And I'm gonna play some audio, and then like I said, you want to put the thing up for the we call it.
Yeah, let me put the disclaimer up. 1 minute. So y'all know the roach is out. The roach got stomped. That's the roach got stomped. And there is questions upon questions because we've been calling out. That they all know each other, the judge, the prosecutor, and the DA. And we know for a fact the DA and the prosecutor they had a law firm together, so they were friends. That shouldn't have never went down anyway. Those people
I didn't know that.
Money grab on Kamelo, and then they probably split that money because half the money goes to the state. B1 family, Black Love. So they did a money grab, but here you go, Mind Games.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know that. That's a conflict of interest. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you might not have been on the show, but yeah, Kamelo Anthony's attorney and the DA had a law firm together.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the craziest stuff. But when you keep getting away, when white supremacy keeps getting away with everything they have been getting away with since they built America with being corrupt. After a while, even white people are tired of white people stuff. So you cannot keep doing corrupt things. That's the whole point of Abraham Lincoln. Put that back. Is putting up, you had to free the slaves because you cannot, the system doesn't work. Every system has to change. And this shows how they've been getting away with everything for a long time. Even the, what is the, lady that was the coroner or the medical examiner. Look at all her cases of every Black person. She always finds it if it is a unaliving, she says that is inconclusive. And then for her to out and out keep his thorax and his lungs and the stomach, the main things that need to be used, they all in it together. And I mean, no, my bad.
I'm thinking of Wells.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it too, but I'm thinking about Nolan Wells. My bad. But it just shows it's all but it just shows all the corruption. What I'm saying is that they all have this corruption. It's white supremacy is a corrupt system, and this is what we mean by Black people can't be racist. Because when you look at Nolan Wells and you look at this situation, they all get in power so that they can keep power and they can do what they want, and nobody really gets justice until they say so. And I land my plane.
Thanks. In places like Mississippi, man, Black people, I might well get the hell out of there because that place is never gonna change. I had a conversation with a couple of people about that. But anyway, let's play your favorite police officer, Officer Tatum. Then we're gonna get into what Austin Metcalf father got to say. We got two audios. We'll play the first one. This is the one with Officer Tatum. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us. The judge who presided over the Kamelo Anthony case in Collin County was recused today. A new judge will take over tomorrow for Anthony's appeal hearing. The 19-year-old was convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison back in June for the 2025 Frisco track meet stabbing of Austin Metcalf. And today's ruling is considered to be a win for Anthony. Fox 4's Alex Boyer was inside of the courtroom and has details on what's next. Alex.
Eden. Yeah, certainly H is now out, and a new judge who has yet to be identified will take over this high-profile case from here. Now, like before, no cameras were allowed inside of the courtroom for this morning's hearing. Kamelo Anthony was wearing a green prison jumpsuit and handcuffs initially when he was brought in by the bailiffs. His hair cropped short. Anthony, who is now 19 years old, convicted of the murder of Austin Metcalf back in June and sentenced to 35 years in prison after a jury had rejected his claims of self-defense during a confrontation with Metcalf at a school track meet last year. Now, Anthony's legal team, led by Russell Wilson, argued this morning that the retrial was warranted in part because Judge Roach enforced overly strict courtroom rules, which really limited public access, and also gave a TV interview 2 days after the trial was over and well within the window for an appeal to be filed. Now, the judge sided with the defense and ordered that Judge Roach be recused. That led to cheers outside of the courtroom by dozens of...
The only reason that this is even happening is because it's black folks out here protesting and these corny, weird white people who feel like they have a debt to black people in perpetuity are going to do something they would never do for anybody else. Overly strict rules in the courtroom. Kamelo stabbed a kid in the chest. There is no justification for stabbing somebody in the chest who was unarmed. Especially when what is your argument? Self-defense? Self-defense has to be proportional. A person can't come up to me and I initiated it because I'm under the tent I'm not supposed to be. I get confronted, and because the person, I don't want to fight, I either stab the person. A deadly weapon is a deadly weapon no matter what. Kamelo stabbing him or shooting him is the same thing. He utilized a deadly weapon to kill somebody. So you can't just shoot somebody because they tell you to move and you don't want to move. It's witness statements from kids who were black and other kids who were there at the track meet said that Kamelo Anthony was the aggressor. But because these silly, spineless white people feel like that they got to capitulate to black fake suffrage, that they allow foolery to happen. If the boy, and race to me don't matter. You stab somebody in the chest at a track meet, you should have had a knife, and you cannot justify a use of disproportionate amount of force, and you can't justify acting as if you needed to do self-defend. You go to jail. You get time in jail. You kill somebody's kid. That's race aside. When you add race into it, you add ignorance into it. Because now the person who should be going to jail for killing a person for no reason, like I said, they out here doing this, but they won't do nothing when other young black men are killing each other, and they're not getting justice either. That's the part that bothers me, is the selective outrage and the selective support. Young black men are laying dead in the streets every weekend, and nobody's snitching, and their family don't have any justice. They just got killed, and nobody cares. And black people don't rally together and get on the doorsteps and wear all purple for anybody else. They only know how to support people that they believe had racial animus involved. And they're too stupid to understand if it's racial or not. So just because he's white.
Yeah, I know y'all finna go off on. Let me say something real quick. I don't care for opposite. Tell them straight up. I'm gonna say that first. But 2 points. Like, okay, he's right about for us our community. We gotta get that straight. It's no excuse for that. Yeah, we gotta take when we kill each other, we got to hold each other accountable. I've been saying that forever. Now, going back to what he was saying about the case, like, 'cause I read the actual, like the law. See, people get caught up in the emotion part of it. I get it. The guys surrounding him and stuff. But you had black people, unfortunately, you had some black people say that he kind of, encouraged them, like, yeah, don't touch me and find out. In the law,
people what black people did you see? Half white people that say they have black in them, like Kamala Harris, because it's all BS. Because if you want to look at the law, all of them were surrounded. The video shows it wasn't even enough time for Kamelo to be the aggressor. Because if you look at the video, you see all these people jumping him, and by law, what like other people have said is that they are, if you feel a threat, other bodies are a threat. It's like a weapon, and it doesn't mean he meant to stab.
I'm saying, like, I get what you're saying. They did surround him. I'm saying, like, the law of every stand your ground law.
He basically just swung the knife, and it popped up his finger.
Let me read that.
Oh yeah.
So who's that? Oh. So every stand your ground law, Georgia, Florida, Texas, everybody, everywhere is different. But everybody don't have a stand your ground law, but I know Texas, Georgia, and Florida have it, and other states. But Texas is different. I'm trying to pull it up. I did it one on my
but you still have self-defense.
What gonna hurt him is this. Yeah, but I get it, but what gonna hurt him is
self-defense, because when it's more than one person and you're considering a threat, and he's sitting down and they're surrounding him, you're saying that other black people, but other people testified that these boys was a bully, and it was other people that testified that the commander the Metcalf boy was threatening him, something he was going to beat his A, and it wasn't aggressive. You know that anytime we defend ourselves, we're looked at as the aggressor. Look at how many times the police unalives us, and then for him, and I'm so tired of people using that damn sorry excuse. Black people unaliving each other. That's our individual crime, just like white people unalive each other. That is individual crimes within your community. But when black people unalive each other, you do get arrested. That's why the prisons are filled with our people, because we're the only ones being punished. We are punished for our crimes, and then half the other crimes, I believe, is undercover police. And these you got white people wearing black skin as black masks. We done seen it, and you don't see these drive-bys. We know they insinuate stuff. We know that. Look at this police that just got arrested for he was an ex-cop, was going to insinuate a mass shooting in, I think, Louisiana. Did y'all see that?
No.
Because black people are involved in a drive-by, that is other black people. See how they play with your programming, that only black people are unaliving each other? Who's to say it's not somebody undercover? And that's just to say what Officer Coonan is saying.
Yeah,
because it's ridiculous that he's trying to kiss up a white straw so that he can seem like he's just this justified person, and that I don't see color. We all know what's going on. It was unfair. The judge had all the paperwork in his office. Kamelo Anthony people had to force him after court to take the files out of his office.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to let you do your thing, because and believe me, I understand y'all. I look at things. Because I know everything gonna be based on the law. Yeah, I get it, and I know how the system is now. I have my mind.
The law says, but
exactly.
We played it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this.
Play it with the law when you jumping somebody though. That's why they would. And then on top of it, this boy is almost 80 pounds bigger than Kamelo. So what is the law? Yeah. When you got a bunch of people, football players standing around a track player.
Yeah, it don't even matter how big he is, because that law, they're gonna look at the law. Like, I get what I'm with y'all on everything y'all saying. My thing is this is their law. So I'm gonna read this, because remember, every state got different standing ground law. Yes. That's one thing how people got to start understanding this law. You even mentioned this before. Read the law,
but read the part about when it's other people is considered a weapon, when it's more than one person that's threatening your life.
So let me see. Hold on, you got a couple of things. So I'm gonna read a little bit. Okay, so Texas law, Texas Penal Code, Chapter 9, subchapter C. Some of the provisions within this subchapter, protections of persons, are often referred as the stand your ground laws. This section discusses some circumstances under which a person may use deadly force to defend themselves or others. Texas Penal Code, Chapter 9, subchapter D, statutes in this subchapter, protection of property, are sometimes referred to as the Castle Doctrine laws. This section discusses the use of deadly force for the protection of property. Okay, understanding the law. Fourth thing you should know about self-defense law in Texas, KUT 76 2018. I guess it came out in 2018. July the 6th, 2008. July the 6th, 2018. The news article provides an overview of the Texas Stand Your Ground laws and how they have evolved over the years. Self-defense, Texas Council Law Doctrine. This private attorney's website provides an overview of Texas self-defense laws as they retaliate to use deadly force. Council Doctrine in Texas, understanding self-defense. This private attorney's blog post breaks down the concept of the Council Doctrine as it appears on Texas law. The blog post also includes discussions of justification of the use of deadly force in various scenarios. Self-defense and Council Doctrine, when is deadly force useful? Chapter 5, page 123. Chapter 5. I know it's a lot, y'all. I'm starting at page 123 of the State Bar of the Texas book, Texas Perspective on Firearms Law 2014 provides a history and overview of the Texas Council Doctrine laws and cites to relevant court cases. The chapter discussed in a detail legislation passed in 2007 that affect a person's duty to retreat and define the terms in habitation and vehicles. So I guess they say if you can run. That's what they were using on. I'm just using that part. Okay, I saw this pop up. Okay, can you start shooting? Hold on. Can you shoot? Okay, can you shoot a fleeing thief in Texas? This video is explained from U.S. Law Shield. A private legal defense company explains the possible criminal consequences of shooting a trespasser on your property. States that you have to stand your ground laws. This page from the Final law discussed the Council Doctrine, stand your ground, and duty to retreat laws. They provide a list of states. Hold on, because this was the one I had. This ain't the one
like
I had.
you're talking about properties, though.
Yeah. But hold on, I'm finding the one. Hold on, because this ain't the one I put first time. But they saying if you can run. I know that.
But see, that's why you go to trial, because everybody's saying, and you can see in the tent. Me and you have eyes. Seen even if it was shadows. He was surrounded until he slung out that knife. That's when they broke away for him to run. But if he's sitting down and you have these big statues surrounding you, whether they were white, Kamelo, Hunter Metcalf, his brother even testified that he was behind him. So what Hunter was, which one died? Was it Austin?
Austin, yeah. I'm trying to.
Austin was in front of him. Hunter already testified he was behind him and pulled him. If you listen to their testimony, I was pulling his bag and he was going in the bag, and my brother was in the front. And then so he was surrounded. If from the testimony, just picturing what they say happened, they all agreed he was sitting down. They were standing up over him. So at this time, how could he run until he used, and he wasn't. And then on top of it, he might have pulled out the knife and swung, but it doesn't mean what everybody is missing. He was not trying to unalive anyone.
Is that it said the problem was, not cut you out, they were saying you ain't supposed to bring any weapon.
But it was not against the law to bring it at the track meet.
Yeah, okay.
And they all have pocket knives because they said it wasn't illegal. It was a utility knife. Okay.
They said, according to the Temple Criminal Defense Attorney Kyle Watkins, Texas does not actually have a law called Stand Your Ground. Instead, stand law removes the study to retreat in situations where a person is otherwise legally justified in using force. The way to think of it is stand your ground law. Watkins say, okay, what Texas does is in the self-defense statute is say that a person does not have a duty to retreat. Watkins explained that in some states a person must attempt to withdraw from a dangerous situation before using deadly force. God damn it. Hold on. Okay.
And he said, don't put your hands on me. He told you, don't put your hands on me.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to see what I lost something.
First they said they threw the bag, and then they said he reached in the bag. Exactly. They lied.
I'm trying to read the rest of this shit. Just jump. What the hell?
Do your AI. Go to Google AI and ask AI.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. So let's see, state ground law. The Texas does not. Okay, all right. Watkins explain. Okay. Texas, however, whether the force was used, let me see. Texas isolated just the question of whether or not the person was justified using the amount of force that they used. Watkins said, the attorney said one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding self-defense laws is the belief that the person can automatically use force simply because they are on their own property or feel threatened. Let me see. Watkins even pointed out confusion between the castle doctrine and the concept of having no duty to retreat. While Texas law may presume the use of deadly force is reasonable in certain situations involving a occupied home, it's more like the home part. So it's kind of hard for them to use it because they talking about, because this law is like if you're at your house, but I know I did read this though on my, I don't know why I can't find it when I had
it was
my
a
back.
guy that gave out. It was a guy that read. We played it. It was a couple of people that played the Texas law, and he was saying that when it's more than one person, many people say that it's threatening you to fight you, and you assuming like if I come up with my friend and my friend is not saying, hey, I ain't gonna touch, but if I come up to you and you thinking that me and my friend coming up to you to fight you, and at the day and time we are in, my friend is a weapon. If my friend is not stopping me and saying, hey, stop, but if I think legally that you and your friend are going to jump me, that is a weapon when it's more than one person. That's how I heard it explained about the Texas law.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they said, yeah. And okay, because the way they talking, like you should try to retreat if you can, run if you can. If you can't, if they corner you, you got all the rights. I think I remember that saying you got all the rights to defend yourself then, but it's after he stabbed him that he ran. So that's what they looking at. But let me play your boy, his father.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, we're looking at after he stabbed him, what happened. It's just like if you pew somebody, it doesn't mean you're trying to unalive them, but you're trying to get out the way. And the situation he was in, he couldn't just run if you're sitting down and they're telling you, and they had no right to tell him to leave the tent in the first place. And so so at the time he was just getting out the way. That was what he was doing. He wasn't trying to unalive him. I'm pretty sure he wasn't just, I'm gonna hit him in this part of his body to unalive him. You see all the commotion under the tent. So to me, it was still stand your ground because he didn't know where he was gonna poke him at. He was poking and running from what it looked like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play the Austin Metcalf father.
Poking him.
Mm-hmm. So Jumbo, who that June?
He said, what did it say? They didn't even bring the knife into court for evidence.
That's good. I think it was like a cleat thing. It wasn't actually a knife, right? It was like some kind of other object, they say.
It was a utility knife. You ain't see you wasn't on the live that I played. I played the live with the people talking about the Texas law, showing the utility. It was a multi-tool.
Oh,
it had it had like a screw, it had like little things connected to it.
The MacGyver knife, pretty much. The MacGyver knife.
Yeah, it was like a short one.
Okay. Let me ready to play his dad. You had to put the thing back up for the second audio. Okay, so you just do it one time. Okay, everybody ready? Let me find the.
Let me read this right here. Let me read. Okay. Let me read this before you go. Texas stand your ground law. It means you have no duty to retreat, or run away before using force, including deadly force, to defend yourself if you face an immediate and serious threat. And so that's why they were saying the judge was, I don't know all what the judge was saying, but he was not letting a lot of evidence in. He didn't let a lot of testimony in. And I mean, that's why he was kicked out. That's why the roach has been stomped. But go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know he was buddy with the other guy. They had a firm together. That's crazy. All right, here we go. All right, go. Let me see. Where is it? Here we go.
I mean, if they want to view it as a win, that's okay. They have every right to view it as a win. I mean, technically, yes, they got the judge recused. Okay. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if they're still celebrating tomorrow, because if he's granted a new trial, he can get more years. I have no idea what the defense is going to throw up for their reasons for a new trial. To me, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't change the facts. The facts are the facts. We had 35 witnesses last time. We only had to use 21. We have a video. We have a confession. I don't know where there's this big bombshell thing that's going to change the case. And, if it was that important, it would have came up the first time. So let's just stick to the facts of what happened that day underneath the tent. For me, things like this do not occupy my time or my thoughts. My thoughts are on this foundation. I'm looking at going forward. How do I save lives? How do I prevent this from any parent ever feeling this pain? It's the deepest, worst pain any human being could ever live through. How do I prevent it? So I'm going to ask everyone's help. Support Austin Metcalf Foundation so your kid comes home alive from school. I'm out here to save lives, and I don't care what color your skin is. I judge you by your character, not by the color of your skin. And there's what I want to tell everybody, and I'm going to ask this, and I'll ask you. You're either part of the problem in today's world, or you're part of the solution in today's world. What side do you think you're on?
Yeah, that's the dad. He want that money.
Yeah, he's saying a win and all this, and he just know basically what they're playing is because Kamelo unalived him in the defense of his protecting himself. We're looking at the aftermath, and then he wants to say, well, he unaligned him. They want to keep painting Kamelo as the aggressive. Let me read this for Stand Your Ground. Deadly force, section 9.32. Deadly force in defense of a person. A person is justified in using deadly force against another. F, the actor would be justified in using force against other. And when, and to the degree the actor reasonably believes the deadly force is immediately necessary to protect the actor, I guess they're using the word actor, against the other's use or attempt to use unlawful deadly force, or to prevent the other's immediate commission of aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. The actor's belief under the subsection that the deadly force was immediately necessary as described by the subdivision is presumed to be reasonable. F, they saying actor, I'm gonna just say Kamelo. F, Kamelo knew or had reason to believe that the person against whom the deadly force was used, Austin, unlawfully with force entered of what, or was attempting to enter unlawfully and with force the Kamelo's occupied habitation. He was sitting down. That was his occupied habitation, vehicle, or place of business or employment. Unlawfully and with force removed. Because Austin was trying to use force to remove Kamelo. He believed that it was used or attempting to remove unlawfully, because he was not a teacher. He was not law enforcement. He was unlawfully trying to remove that boy from a tent. Nobody, they can say, oh, he wasn't supposed to be under there. It was raining. His friend called him, so he was invited. So let's look at the facts. He was, and Austin was trying to unlawfully remove him with force, or from the vehicle or place of business or employment. And he believed he was committing or attempting to commit the described subsection. And Kamelo, this is why they keep trying to paint Kamelo as the aggressor, because Kamelo did not provoke the person against whom the force he was using. So that's why they're using, that's why they programmed them kids to say Kamelo was the aggressor, because this law says long as Kamelo was not provoking him. That's why they kept trying to say, oh, he was saying different stuff or whatever. They studied this law to flip it against him so that the testimony would go against him like he did in court. But it shows, as long as Kamelo wasn't provoking him, and he wasn't, because he told him, as long as you don't put your hands on me, whom the force was used, was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity. He wasn't doing no crime. That's why they kept saying he was, that out other people's bags was there. He could have been stealing bags, because if he was under the tent committing a crime and they asked him to leave, it would be a different story. But as long as he wasn't committing a crime other than a Class C misdemeanor or law ordinance regulating traffic or something like that, a person who has the right to be present at the location where the deadly force was used. That's why they keep pushing, oh, he wasn't supposed to be under the tent. It wasn't his tent, la, 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 la. Bullshit. You seen the video. We all seen the video. Everybody testified. His friend tried to turn it on him. His friend called him under there. He had every right to be under that tent. He was called under that tent.
So the $1 million question is them recusing this judge, is it going to help him or is it going to hurt him?
Well, if it's going to help him, if they can get another case. Hold on, though. Let me finish. Who has not provoked the person against who the force is used, and who is not engaging in criminal activity at the time the deadly force is used, is not required. He was not, long as he wasn't doing nothing, it says he was not required to retreat. He did not have to run. He did not have to get up and walk away while everybody's talking about why he didn't just leave, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't the police who unalive Black people just leave? I'm so tired of the double standards. This is why we need to break down and read every law. If we want, this is a case that shows us read the laws, because we'll see how these police are getting away with stuff and how these white people constantly get away and stuff. And then now there is one white person in the ground and a Black person on top. Now we all need to, we got to pick apart the law. But when it's them, it's okay. When it was George Zimmerman, it was okay.
Yeah, he's still walking around, so I don't want to hear that shit down in Florida. All them gangsters, where y'all at?
Exactly. It says, so for the purpose of determining whether Kamelo, described by subjugation, reasonably believed that the use of deadly force was necessary, a finder of fact may not consider whether the actor failed to retreat. He cannot fail to retreat. A person is justified in using force or deadly force against another to protect a third person, meaning if he was even protecting somebody else. And so hold on, I was trying to
can be a little tricky because some of the wording is kind of tricky though. Yeah.
No, I was trying to see when it's like
somebody
that
said
when it goes to one property, but at the end that basically, I was looking, I gotta find it again, when it's more than one person, because when you add more than, because when it was breaking down, when you add multiple people, if I come with you and I'm fighting you and I think that your homeboy is going to jump in it with me, and your homeboy is aggressively looking at me and y'all around here is intimidation, your homeboy becomes the weapon that I need to defend myself. And that's basically what I'm saying with Kamelo Anthony. But see, they did not get a chance to fight this in court because the judge was holding everything. And to answer your question, like moving the judge, does it help? Yes, removing the judge helps if they get another trial, because the judge doesn't control their friends and you don't control the evidence, and you get to go ahead and charge the DA and the lawyer with disqualifying that mess when they know that they own the law firm together. That was conflict of interest.
Exactly. I'm surprised they got away with that. I didn't know that. So that will change it. You know, we just see how much they look at it.
And then you see all the witnesses was at the darn victim's family house eating barbecue. They were all friends. They lied on the stand. The judge could have made them kids tell the truth. You could have brought in more witnesses. He seen that his lawyer wasn't helping him, so the judge could have inserted a lot more protection with it being a fair trial. But because he didn't, that's why you don't need that judge there. Now, whether he gets a new trial is what the dad is talking about. Is like, okay, now that the judge is recused, it's a good win because somebody seen that the judge was corrupt enough where he needed to be off of this case. So that's where we're at now, is do he need to be off of this case? Because and he is off. And then he basically turned around and gave interviews talking about what did the judge say? He gave interviews saying that the jury got it right. So he agreed with the jury, and you came out knowing that he gave an interview knowing that it can be appealed. Wasn't that something stupid to do? But they're so comfortable with their white supremacist ways that they think nothing can stop them because they are in positions where they control the narrative. They'll let us cry and complain all day. Long as they can control the narrative, they don't care. They know that they're breaking the law.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I'm not gonna have my hopes up, but we'll see. Like I said, this is a new judge and everything. We got some before we get out of here. I guess read some of the comments. We'll pull some of them up. We no longer have an overseer. Let me see. They hate that we are free.
Mm-hmm.
So are we really free?
We are free. We are free to a point where we are free. They put it in the law that we're free. We just don't know how to use the law to fight for our freedom. It's just like I seen somebody say all this stuff that's happening to us. They want us to, like you said, and one thing is true, they want us to act off of emotions on everything. And that's what they're used to. That judge was everybody knew that we were going to be mad, but they're so used to us being mad and going to march that we don't, instead of marching, and I've said it many times, let's go hit these books and go to court. You go hit these books and learn the law. See, we were tricked to get out in the street to march and make a noise. That might have happened a long time ago, but since we've been marching, they've been adding more and more laws to the books. That's why marching don't help anymore.
Exactly. Get our kids to become lawyers, district attorneys.
Exactly.
Power it. Yep. Sports is cool.
What's going to scare them is what you just said. Get our kids, and those that don't become lawyer, have our kids reading books, reading the book of law. And that's what a lot of people have been doing. A lot of Black people are talking about the law. A lot of us are looking into the law. That's the most dangerous thing that we can do against white supremacy, because marching is not fearing them. That was a scare tactic before. The next scare tactic is when they don't see us marching in the streets and they see us at the law library or downloading law books. Somebody else put something in the comments. We aren't going to crash out just to be someone human shield. Oh no, we ain't telling you to do that anyway. You're right. Like I said, that's one thing we got to do. Like I tell people, Black, not try to damn our people, but a lot of us don't understand what power is. Power is the people who make policies and laws. We need to be those people. Racism.
Yep, that's just the way it is. You can sit up here and throw your fists up all day, but if your people ain't set in place, that's come to politics too. Like we talk about building super PACs and getting our people on a local level into legislation and stuff like that. That's the only way we're going to beat the system. You got to get in there and manipulate the system. You can get on the internet all day and type all kind of stuff, but if you don't understand the laws, you don't create the policies and all that stuff, we just talking. We'll be having the same conversation 50 years from now. I'll land my plane.
And you're right. We just got to get more. We doing it, and I'm gonna always give our people a heads up. We are in the season of the Aquarius. Remember the season of knowing and knowledge. That's from who we really are. We're denouncing that we're African Americans all over here because, we already had this land. And even if we came from Africa, everybody come from Africa. This is our land. Then you get to knowing, when you know yourself, then you're going to know how did they change us? They used the law to change who our identity was. Now when we go into that, people are using the law to get their land back. If we were slaves, how did you own the land? Because America is only 250 years old. So we started looking. I feel like we're in the season of knowing. We're in the season of waking up. It's kind of like, hey, we learning these first words and we're applying it, and we're going to get more and more stronger. We're going to have some idiots out here. We do have some idiots. And that is to be, there's idiots in every race. The difference with us is that we have some of our idiots have been programmed to be idiots. The ones that's unaliving each other and doing this and that and running around doing all this stuff against those are programmed idiots. And a lot of us are woke now than what we were before. Look at how we were before. We were just ignoring a lot of stuff. And I'm proud of what we at now because we're learning to walk. Like I said, we're learning to feel our legs again. We don't learn to get off our knees, and they don't like it because they want us on our knees with our heads down. Now that we getting up, we're learning. Now we learning to walk. We got to get somewhere else. So it's going to be a process with us waking up as a group of people, but we're getting there. We're not perfect.
Yeah, and I say this, yeah, and yeah, I actually back. It's so much I want to say, but I know I got to go. But yeah, that's true. The thing I tell the black people, and like I say, yeah, we making some strides and stuff, but you got to be consistent, and you got to get out of this practice individualism thing. And the main thing, what is going to you're gonna really see it really being effective is we all gonna have to come, stay on one type of code. Can't be this group, even though we might be talking about the same thing. Everybody got their own little, like it's different cliques and stuff. It won't work like that.
No. The thing about it is going to work long as we want the same thing. Because what we've been taught, you've been programmed. We've been programmed that we one's black people. We's one black, like on Sinners. We's all one's people. No, the fuck we're not.
Hey, look, I say this though.
No, but no, listen now, because your tribe is different from my tribe. Kathy tribe was different from my tribe. If we were not different, we would be incest. We have to understand some tribes want to be called Solon. Some tribes, when we were here before, we have to always, and anytime we say something, remember to the beginning. We were not all one's people when they came over here. Africa wasn't all one's Africa. They were different tribes who were forced under different countries because they divided the land.
Right.
So we were all different people, and that's why we have different perspective, and that's why different people handle stuff a different way. You had your warrior tribes that don't believe in nothing but cut and throat, and those people know it. That's why they programmed those people to run in the streets among us and unalive each other. You had some people that was the wisdom people, spirituality. So we all, long as we're striving for the same thing, I don't care what you call yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
In America. Other countries, you can't come over here telling us what to do because your country, you got your own land and your own government. That's where the problem at. Y'all come over here where the fight is cleaner because we already done bled on our grandparents already done bled their blood, and y'all letting y'all people go over there and y'all want to come comfortable. No. But us that's here, this is our government, our country. I don't know nobody in Africa. I don't know nobody in Jamaica. My grandparents ain't never told me. My great grandparents, my great grandparents ain't never said
breaking
about
up
Africa. And if that's the case, Africa longer. I should know relative over there.
Yeah, you were choppy. Yeah, you were choppy. I'm saying I know if we can go.
So we get out with some.
Yeah, now I'm saying this too. Like, Robert, remember this. Oh, you chopped. You breaking up. You were breaking up.
We might be different tribes. Go ahead, my games. What you say?
Yeah, I'm saying you were breaking up bad, but I was saying, yeah, the tribe thing. I understand this, y'all. This is my perspective on it. Every race got their own different, like the Asians, North Koreans, South Koreans don't get along. Japanese, Chinese don't get along. There's other groups in Asia don't get along. But at the end of the day, when it's time to come together and build that powerhouse, they're together. Same thing with the Jews too. We got to figure something out because we don't have the capital. We don't have the it's just a lot of stuff we ain't got organized. I mean, yeah, we doing things, but not at the pace we need to be doing it because, like I say, these are the people you convince. Even though we got the delineation thing going on, you mean tell the people we need to be convincing them damn black folks who follow Al Sharpton and them, because I know a lot of them right now who ain't heard of FBA. And them the black people.
You got to leave them at the wayside, man.
But they gonna got all the power still right now.
Is the people that want to learn.
Yeah,
one thing about our people in the street that we keep talking about, the ones that wear the bonnet on, those are the ones that's learning.
But they don't have no power though. They don't have no. They don't have no money. They don't have no capital. We gotta be real.
They do have capital. They're just using it to buy stupid shit. But they're buying $3,000 Bugattis and Hellcats and stuff.
Yeah,
they got it. But we're just using it wrong.
Yeah, big time. I mean, that's a program. You got to reset your mindset. You gotta, yeah. We're gonna have a topic on this one. I know we're getting away from it, but I'm gonna touch on that real heavy. But yeah,
but I mean, it goes together, and what y'all have to understand is Kamelo Anthony case shows how they stick together and they separate, just like the KKK. We call it the KKK, but the KKK is one group. They got the Proud Boys. They got the Southern League. They got the Fraternal Order of Police. They got the Fraternal Order of Police Associations. They're all different white people, but they all stand for the same thing, preserving themselves. And that's what we have to understand. We're all different types of groups of black people here in America, but we stand for the same thing. Now, when you deal with people like Officer Tatum and the immigrants that come over here because they get it easy and they feel like kissing up to white supremacy is going to make their life easier, those ain't our people. But the difference with us, we're the only people on earth. Yep, the Dixie Mafia, they got many names. We're the only people on earth that has an entity set to program us not to stick together. And that's the problem. That's why I give my people as many breaks as I could, because nobody else is being programmed to hate themselves. Nobody else is being paid money to tell each other to do violence against each other. So we have to really understand that. With no other race, no other group of people, not the Chinese, they can do everything that you keep calling out, but ain't nobody up there programming their people to go against each other. We are fighting forces that is against us in every way, which way, form, and fashion. That's the difference. Nobody has a government but us that's paying somebody to let us go. Our government is allowing the Jews and that own the radio stations and the Arabs to destroy our communities. Nobody else is being fought against but us. So when we get a win, I'm cheering. I lay my plane.
Boom. And that being said, y'all, I guess we're gonna try to do a follow-up on the Nolan Wales. Maybe get some more information. I really want to wait till they really get the real information in, because so much going back and forth with that, and I think that's gonna be a big surprise coming out of that case. Yeah, it's just So we just, like I said, this is Kamelo Anthony. I guess we'll try to see what they're gonna. They're supposed to did it today. The judge they're supposed to be saying something today about this. Everybody keep talking about.
I don't know. I haven't really. I seen that yesterday, and I really didn't do my research on the aftermath. I just heard the dad saying that we'll see what happens. So I know they're fighting for a new trial, correct? To see if he can get a new trial because of all the stuff, right?
I think he got a pretty good lawyer too. So let's see. Hope his brother is pretty good.
He got a team. He ain't even got a lawyer.
Team. Okay, good. So he got a team. Good. Yeah, he's gonna need one with this.
And they all did pro bono, because all of them that jumped together and created this team, everybody seen the corruptness. And so I'm glad, because these white supremacists need to understand that you're not going to have the power that you used to have, because we sit back and say, oh, that's their system, this is how it goes. No, it's not.
All right, y'all. To the next episode. See y'all on the next one. Peace. You cooked. Y'all, you got anything else to say? Anybody else before we get out?
You want to say anything, Kathy? I don't know if she in here.
I think you still in there, Kathy? Kathy probably on the phone.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back on. I mean, just hit me up like you did, D Mays. Let's jump on, because I've been training and being busy. So let's jump up on here, and then let's bring up some, when you hear something else for if he get a new trial, if he get a new trial, we jumping on it.
Okay, bet. All right, y'all. Peace. Thanks for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Oh yeah, we about to do the we'll do the trailer for the We Control You P2.
You want me to play the trailer? I think I got it.
You got okay, cool, okay. Yeah, y'all.
This is part 2. Y'all follow Mind Games Uncut. He be doing some great stuff, man. I'm just excitedly waiting for some stuff that he gonna have out. But yeah, he been doing little documentaries on We Control You. So you gotta look at the first one and the second one, and maybe Mind Games boost your second one again. I mean your first one again, so you can play the second one. But I think this is the trailer you sent me, and I'm gonna play it now.
Okay.
Yes!
Yes! Break it down now!
You gotta get that whole sequence!
Now, they will all obey my command. I will control their very mind. Scroll and consume my digital command.
Update complete. Update complete.
The beauty of it is that they don't even realize they're being guided. With television, we told them what to think. Now, with social media, we let them think it was their own idea.
Yeah, make sure y'all go to my channel, subscribe, put in We Control You mini documentary, see the part 1. Part 2 come out October 25th. That being said, y'all, we out.
Yes, peace. And his channel is Mind Games Uncut, as you can see. Peace.